which no charges have been filed for as of yet. We'll fill you in on the child's condition. Plus, those mass layoffs by the Trump administration impacting folks across the nation. A dozen firings in Hanford, part of a larger dismissal at the Department of Energy. U.S. Senator Patty Murray speaking out against it, indicating their importance. And we're also talking news out of the capital city. Hearings were held for 4 appointees for the State Sentencing and Guidelines Commission, a committee that promotes accountability and equity in sentencing. We'll introduce you to those 4 appointees whose terms are likely to start this week. We'll have that story and more coming up as you start your day with us right here on Action News. Good Tuesday morning, everybody. I'm Dave Furtado.
And I'm meteorologist Jefferson Donovan.
And Jefferson, in the world of weather, we've been dealing with some of that melt-off, a little bit more melted off over in Richland than, say, over here in Pasco. But, you know, these warm temperatures are continuing.
Yes. We are going to continue to see melting snow as we do go throughout the next couple of days. Taking a look out at the Tri-Cities right now, roadways are nice and clear. Still a little bit of snow on the lawn. Again, this is outside of our studios in Pasco. Now, what I will say is that as we go tonight into tomorrow morning, we might see a little bit more snow, and maybe more concerning, we might see a bit more freezing rain. We'll talk more about that as we go later into the newscast. Right now, it's 32 degrees in Pasco, underneath mostly cloudy skies. Here's a look at our weather headlines today and going forward. It is going to be mostly dry and cloudy on this Tuesday. As I just referenced, overnight tonight into early tomorrow morning, some freezing rain and snow showers are possible, and then rain and snow will continue through the day on Wednesday. We'll talk more about all 3 of these weather headlines in greater depth coming up.
Thanks, Jefferson. We begin this morning in Kittitas County. The weekend weather caused many travel issues across the region, including a rollover accident near Snoqualmie Pass last Friday involving a toddler. A 1-car crash on Interstate 90 sent a 5-year-old passenger to Harborview Medical Center in Seattle. The child is said to be in stable condition. The wreck was reported just before 11 a.m. Friday on I-90 at milepost 56, just east of Hayek. The driver, a 50-year-old man from Bayshore, New York, was heading west and lost control of his 2004 Cadillac truck and went off the freeway. The Cadillac rolled over after it left the road. The driver was not injured in the crash. At this time, no charges have been filed. The Yakima Valley SWAT team was called out to Yakima for an arrest Sunday at about 3:50 in the afternoon. The Yakima Police Department received information regarding a federal arrest warrant. Now, they went into an apartment complex near the corner of Meade and 10th Avenues to arrest the person in question. After about an hour's standoff, the person on the warrant exited the property without further hindrance. Recently, the Trump administration has offered mass layoffs across the government, which has created lasting effects on services provided by Washington state. In the recent order, many agencies are having to make cuts, including the Department of Energy, which helps run the Hanford nuclear cleanup site. The DOE has laid off 1,800 employees, which is roughly 11% of its workforce. In a statement, Washington Senator Patty Murray said, quote, "We are talking about safety engineers at the Hanford nuclear cleanup site, VA doctors and nurses, utility line workers in my home state, CDC health experts who investigate disease outbreaks, and so many others." Now, we have reached out to the senator for her full remarks on the layoffs, and we are awaiting a response. In Olympia, hearings were held for 4 appointees to the State Sentencing and Guidelines Commission. KIMA's Mallory Aldrich has more on who the appointees are and why they want to be on the commission.
The first appointee is Carmen Rivera. She is an assistant criminal justice professor and an assistant dean at Seattle University. She believes her perspective as an appointee is valuable because she is from the community and understands the disparities within the system.
I like to take my experience working with opportunity youth and working within our criminal legal system and our juvenile justice system and apply that to these high-level conversations that we're having that have real policy impacts on our community and our state.
The next appointee is Sharonda Amamillo, who is currently a member of the commission and is seeking another term. With a second term, Amamillo hopes to continue her work in reforming the way sentencing is made.
After 22 years, I've learned that by incorporating a deeper understanding of how trauma impacts behavior, we can create more effective and compassionate solutions that ultimately promote public safety and healing.
The third appointee is Amy Howell Anselmi, an educator who is excited to take part in the commission because she has worked with troubled youth.
I am looking forward to the opportunity to just learn more about this process and kind of be an advocate, particularly for juveniles. There seems to be some special issues related to juveniles in this state.
The last appointee is Jeremiah Bourgeois, a reformed felon turned law student whose previous experience has made him consider the different types of support the criminal legal system needs.
Not only the nature of punishment, but what type of supports we need on the back end and what type of better steps we can do on the front end to keep people from ending up in the criminal legal system like I did. And I'm just humbled to have this opportunity, and the fact that I can give some of my insight to a policy-making body to whatever extent I can to ensure nobody ever does something like I did again.
The committee will be taking action on all appointments this Thursday. Reporting for Action News, I'm Mallory Aldrich.
KIMA's Mallory Aldrich, thank you. And with that, we're going to turn over to weather with meteorologist Jefferson Donovan to talk about the weather for today. Things have been relatively mild these last couple of days with the temperatures on that warming trend. How much more warmer are we going to get this week?
Yes, well, I would say that tomorrow we're going to see a bit of a dip with highs down into the 30s tomorrow, but then as we go into Thursday and Friday, mid to upper 40s and then 50s as we go into the coming weekend. Today, though, is going to be on par with yesterday, upper 30s to low 40s across the forecast area. It is going to be a mostly cloudy and dry day of weather. I will say, though, that there are some weather hazards lurking overnight tonight to early tomorrow morning. We might see some light freezing rain and some light snow. We will talk about that potential coming up.
Thanks, Jefferson. The time now is 5:07. Coming up on KEPR KIMA this morning, some more state news. There's roughly 2 or so months left in the flu season here in the States, but this season is seeing the heaviest caseloads in more than a decade. In Washington, officials say activity is very high. We'll talk the numbers here and across the nation after the break. But later in the show, top stories. Dramatic video shows the Delta flight that crashed yesterday landing upside down in Toronto. All passengers made it out, though some had critical injuries. As the sun comes up this morning, 2 runways are still closed for an investigation. And in an effort to combat climate change, scientists are trying to limit how much a cow farts, which produce nearly a third of methane emissions. They're exploring if a vaccine can slow down microbes in the cow's gut. We'll talk that when we get the health news. Stay with us.